अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल
नमः परमर्षिभ्यो नमः परमर्षिभ्यः हरिः ओम्। उपासकानां यदुपासनीयम् उपात्तवासं वटशाखिमूले तद्धामदाक्षिण्यजुषा स्वमूर्त्या जागर्तु चित्ते मम बोधरूपम् अद्राक्षम् अक्षीणदयानिधानम् आचार्यमाद्यं वटमूलभागे मौनेन मन्दस्मितभूषितेन महर्षिलोकस्य तमोनुदन्तम् विद्राविताशेषतमोगणेन मुद्राविशेषेण मुहुर्मुनीनां निरस्य मायां दयया विधत्ते देवो महान् तत्त्वमसीति बोधं ममाद्यदेवो वटमूलवासी कृपाविशेषात् कृतसन्निधानः ओङ्काररूपाम् उपदिश्य विद्याम् आविद्यगध्वान्तम् अपाकरोतु वेदान्तशैलजनदी रमणीयरूपां निर्वाणनिस्तुलरसायनबोधधारां संसारजातसकलामयदोषहन्त्री जीयादियं च रमणेश्वर वाक्सवित्री सदाशिवसमुद्भूतशुद्धज्ञानैकरूपिणीं रमणाचार्यसम्पूर्णां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् अन्तश्चैतन्यरूपेण गुरुरूपेण यो बहिः भासते शुद्धबोधं तं देशिकं रमणं भजे। यत्कृपालेशमात्रेण स्वानुभूतिसमुज्ज्वलां तमीडेऽहं सदा शुद्धं रमणेशमहेश्वरम्। Yesterday we saw the 26th verse. ahandai-ūṇḍāyiṉ aṇaittum uṇḍāhum ahandai-யின்றேல் iṉṭṛaṇaittum ahandaiye yāvumām ādalāl yādideṉṭṛu நாடுதலே yōvudal yāvum என ஓர். This was the 26th verse. So that verse Bhagavan said to give up the ego is true renunciation, the ultimate renunciation. There is a mantra in aghamarshana. Agham means sin. Aghamarshana means removing the sin. So there the mantra is it indicates the inner self which is always shining forth as a gentle flame. Ardran jvalati jyotirhamasmi jyotirjvalati brahmahamasmi yohamasmi brahmahamasmi ahamasmi brahmahamasmi ahamevaham manjuhomi swaha. So the mantra is ardran jvalati jyotihi, that fire which shines forth as, actually ardram means, it means wet, it means cool. But how can fire be cool? How can a flame be wet? Just generally we translate gentle. It means cool. It is effulgent like fire, but it is very cool. It is shanti. Upashanto yamatma. So it is very peace. Peace is its very nature. And the mantra ends by Mam Juhomi. I offer myself. The I shines forth as pure consciousness. It swallows the world, the body, the mind, and also the I, and remains as I, as the Atma, as the pure consciousness, that Shuddha Bodha Swarupa. This highest Advaita Jnana, Bhagavan says it is utterly simple. Aye adisulabham atmaviddai. And it should be simple because it is your nature. How can anything which is eternally present, ever available, can be complex? At the same time, we find that it is difficult. People say it is difficult. And the difficulty is not in the Atman. The difficulty is in ourselves. Somebody said, the truth is very simple, but we are very complex. And who is this we? The ego I, which identifies itself with the body, mind, and its worldly life. It's very complex. The truth is so simple, but with a complex system, body, mind, life, you have to tune yourself to that simple Shruti. The entire jarring music has to be tuned to that simple Shruti. That is the problem. So, ultimately, intelligence, what we call as Viveka, will tell you, you need not add more activities to your life. Because we are trained to do something to get something. So whatever goal you put forward, people will ask, what should I do to get that? To become a politician, I have to stand in election, do propagation. To become an artist, I have to learn that art. To sing well, I have to learn singing. Like that, when we say about spirituality also, people ask, what should I do? Especially Vedanta Jnana, Atma Jnana, what should I do? And the Upanishad says, when this question ends, then you come for the class. Nasti akritah kritena. This is not something which you can get by doing. You do something, you get something, it is not that. The thing that you are seeking, searching, is already there inside you. It is your very nature. That is the simplicity of the truth. It is your very nature, onoda swarupam. Iyalbu nelai. In Tamil, Bhagavan says iyalbu. Irundadai irundabadi irunda kaati. This is a usage in Tamil. So, that simple truth is available within you as your own existence, as your own irup. And what makes it so complex? Because you are otherwise engaged with so many other things. Involved with so many things. So, ultimately you find sadhana is not in doing, sadhana is in giving up. Slowly simplifying life. Not in question of I should do something special, I should attain something special, no. Even when Vedas prescribe something, you do this ritual, that ritual, it is only to rescue you from more doing. So that you will be engaged with this profitless doing. Otherwise, left to yourself, you will get into the trap of some doing business. So, one has to create this gap in life. This quietude can enter there. Because it is your swarupa. The mind has to abide in swarupa. For that, the mind must be made free from all its grips. Various places it is stuck, it is imprisoned. So then you find the intelligence of making the life more and more simple. Any intelligent person will find that the ultimate secret of peace is simplifying the life. And the ultimate simplicity is what they call yōvudal. Bhagavan said renunciation, sannyasa. So that true renunciation or sannyasa is like the fruit which is ripe, it falls from the tree. Before that, there is a stage where every grihastha has to enter. That is what they call as vanaprastha. Vana means forest. And prasthanam means going to forest. But where will we go to forest? This is a forest. But concrete jungle, that is what. But real vana shabda, Shankaracharya says, what means forest? It means vananiyam, sambhajaniyam. Doing some spiritual practice is going to forest. So you take resolve that from now onwards, no wage earning work. One great sadhu who lived here, one Swami, as I am telling general, all of you know him, Lakshmana Swami, but when he retired, many people called him for work, and he said, now no more cash, only ash. That was his statement, no more cash. So, only ash means now only 4 ash is this that we are putting is only a symbol that no more earning business. It is tapas, discipline, bringing order in life so that you will not get into unnecessary whirlpools of action from where you cannot come out. So that is the yōvudal. So actually sannyasi has no tapas. Real tapas happens in vanaprastha-ashrama. In grihastha-ashrama also. In brahmacharya-ashrama, he trains himself to do tapas. In grihastha-ashrama, one portion of his time he devotes to tapas, and all the 3 other portions he devotes to his personal life. And in vanaprastha-ashrama, he gives up all other things. 3/4 of the time is for tapas. And sannyasa-ashrama, there is only one tapas, that is jnanam, no other tapas. Bahavo jnana tapasa pūtaha madbhavamāgataha. There it is atmajnanam. Tushnim ekasane līnaha. Tushnim kinchid achintayan. Yasyad ekasane līnaha. Tushnim kinchid achintayan. That Atmanishtha is the tapas of a yati. But that yatyashrama is a very rare phenomenon. This outwardly taking sannyasa, giving sannyasa, and is what they call Vividisha Sannyasa. It is of course a ritual like Upanayana Samskara, everything, it is also a Samskara. Those who have come in that tradition, to them this is also prescribed. But if it just comes like a tsunami, just like Bhagavan's life, nothing is needed. They just go out. But that ultimate absolute freedom is very rare. Generally, even in sannyasa ashrama, even for a sannyasi, at least he is disciplined like a vanaprastha ashrami, it is great. Great sannyasis that people respect, you observe them and see the Shastra, then you will find that they are more vanaprasthas than sannyasis. And the true sannyasa which Shastra speaks is like Sadashiva Brahmendra or Bhagavan, where they are out, completely out. Nothing can curtail them. And no impurity can happen to them. As long as impurity can happen to you, you should be disciplined. Now, no impurity can come near you, the outer discipline is also not needed, the person moves out. So, that kind of utter freedom, complete freedom, comes when the ego is completely gone. The ahankara is completely gone because all dangers comes from ego. Yesterday we saw what Sri Rama said, ahankara vashadapad, ahankara duradayaha, ahankara vashadiha, nahankarat paro ripuhu. There is no other ripu, enemy, than this ego. Now, Prahlada tells in Bhagavatam that Hiranyakashipu says to Prahlada, you are worshipping Vishnu, he is our enemy. Prahlada very calmly, the small child, he said, Father, Vishnu is not your enemy, your ahankara is your enemy. Your own mind is your enemy. Without winning that, you think your enemy is sitting somewhere. He is inside you. And the real thief is inside you. So, sannyasa is not a name for the body. No, somewhere somebody asked Bhagavan about sannyasa. Bhagavan says, the self is already a sannyasi. It's the highest meaning. The Atma is sannyasi. Because nothing touches it. It is always asanga. So the Atma is true sannyasi. So when a person also becomes completely Atma, no coloring. You see him, you are not seeing a person, you are seeing Atma. Dehiva drishyate asau parantu asau kevalo hi Atma. He appears like embodied person, but he is not embodied. He is pure like prism, nothing there. He is only Atma. If that kind of vision is there, then that is true sannyasa. But you have to practice sannyasa. Every time you see some animal, even a cow, you sprinkle water. The cow, good breed of cows, that is how they test it. You sprinkle water, the body will shiver and the water will be thrown out. You sprinkle water on a hen or any other bird, after rain it will just do like this. And this is called avadhunanam. Avadhunanam means shaking off, blowing it away. Any dirt, any dust, any toxic element enters you, you blow it away. And that blowing away is yōvudal. This an ordinary person has to do very often. Yesterday I read a very beautiful anecdote where one Swamiji of Ramakrishna Mutt, very Swami who lived in Kashi long back, he has written an anecdote where he says the villagers, generally the village people have a folklore. about the fight between the mongoose and the snake. The mongoose will bite the snake will bite the mongoose. And this mongoose will very often run to the forest, jungle, and after some time will return and resume the fight. And what they say is, this creature has the natural instinctive intelligence to find the herb which will detoxicate it. So it will run there and it need not even eat it, it will smell that herb and it will detoxicate and come back to resume the fight. A jnana yogi is like this, he says. He will have, because when you live in the world, it is like a fight. Action, reaction, some problem will happen. And if you think the ideal, I should not get affected, it will not happen, you will get affected. The body will get affected, the mind will get affected. But like this mongoose, you have to go now and then to the solitude and smell the herb. And that is the knowledge of the self. Go to satsanga, do atma vichara, remove that dirt and come back with strength. Bhagavan also used to say this. One monkey, these monkeys has their own kingdom. So Bhagavan, when he stayed in Skandashram, he has done a lot of research about these monkeys. So actually Skandashram is one kingdom and Ramanashram is another kingdom, and in between there are 2 or 3 kingdoms. So one group of monkey, if they trespass into another kingdom, there will be war. And the Bhagavan tells about one monkey, that monkey and the next kingdom king, they had a fight, and this monkey lost. And this kingdom also fell into his hand. And that monkey disappeared, because Bhagavan was very familiar with all these animals. So that monkey disappeared. For some days, nobody was able to see it. After a month or so, this monkey returned and was sitting in a branch of a tree and shaking that branch with so much strength. And all other monkeys there, especially the other king, he got afraid and they had a fight, and this monkey knew, the monkey which went away and came back, it won and it became the king. And with all his wife and retinue, he came to do namaskara to Bhagavan. Bhagavan said, see, like all of you, he is coming with his wife and children, everything. He comes back to tell me how he regained kingdom. I am very sure that they know this art of tapas. So he went away and did tapas and came back and challenged the monkey and regained his kingdom. So Bhagavan says, tapas, he defines there, it is an art by which when you are without energy, when you are without strength, when you are stressed out, then you have to withdraw to solitude to regain that power, regain that energy, reinstill your vitality into you and come back. So you should be knowing when to renounce, when to withdraw. And that withdrawal, that renunciation, Bhagavan here calls as yōvudal. So that yōvudal yāvumeṇa or. Bhagavan always used to say these monkeys, they are all real sannyasis because they don't store for next day. They want only food. One day one monkey came. I have told this story many times. Female monkey with its child. And the attendant of Bhagavan, he drove it out. Bhagavan became very sad and he said, see, we call ourselves as sannyasis. But whatever comes, we all keep it in the store, locked, and keep the key in our hip. But when a true sannyasi, when a true monk comes, you are not ready to give anything. The monkey is the true monk. The monk with the key is not a monk. The monkey is a true monk. He is absolutely free, no? No house for staying, no food, nothing is stored. Nothing is there, aparigraha dharma. So that Bhagavan calls as yōvudal. So, as one who knows the self becomes the self, he is also a nitya sannyasi. Nyeyas nitya sannyasi. Yona dveshti na kamkshati. In Gita, Bhagavan says, one who never is averse to anything and one who desires nothing, he is a nitya sannyasi. Actually, the sannyasa is an inner state. Certainly it is an inner state. But this sannyasa ashrama sannyasa is for whomsoever it is needed. That is an institution which can make the person free of all the Vedic injunctions and many traps of the world. For them, this ashrama should be always there. But if a person takes to this ashrama, again engages in the world and worldly activities, then that is meaningless. That is meaningless. That is why Bhagavan here says the true sannyasa is ahankara-nasha. You can see deceptively Bhagavan appears not the traditional, because people think sannyasi means ochre robe, danda. But you can see Bhagavan, he is actually sannyasa is not that lakshana is not given for sannyasa in the Shastra. Ochre robe etc. came later on. The sannyasa which Shastras generally say is only kaupina. Only kaupina and one danda and kamandala. You can see in Bhagavan perfect sannyasa. Always only that much. Only kamandala, danda and mundita shiraska, nothing else. So absolutely aparigraha dharma. Nothing else. So this is the sannyasa of true sannyasa, and Bhagavan actually called it as atyashrama. Shvetashvatra Upanishad also speaks about it as atyashrama. Atyashramibhyah provacha. The Brahmavidya is taught for atyashrama, those who went beyond all ashrama. And a sannyasi, a jivan mukta, a jnani is an atyashrami. There is an ashrama sannyasa and atyashrama sannyasa. Ashrama sannyasa is you come through the regular path of brahmacharya ashrama, grihastha ashrama, vanaprastha ashrama, and you are preparing yourself for the highest jnanam by entering sannyasa ashrama. And nobody will now question you whether you have done all these Vedic rituals, whether you are engaging in this or nobody can disturb you anymore. So as a license, as a certificate for that, you take to this sannyasa ashrama. That is certainly a place for the Vedic prescribed people, those who live in that prescribed way. But this atyashrama which Bhagavan speaks All people, Bhagavan, those who learn Bhagavan's literature, they all think everyone is Atyashrami. But Atyashrama means one who never identifies with his body in any way. As the Hastamalaka says, when Shankaracharya asked that boy, "Who are you?" Very sweet question. Shankaracharya asked, "Kastvam shishu, kasya kutosi ganta, kim namate tvam kuta agatosi, yetanmayoktam vadachar bhagatvam mat pritaye priti vivardhanosi." My dear child, who are you? Where are you coming from? Kim te nama? What is your name? All these things Shankaracharya asked, and that young boy, he took the implied essence and roared. The highest knowledge of Vedanta, he roared. He said, "Naham manushyo na cha deva yaksho na brahmana kshatriya vaishya shudraha na brahmachari na grihivanasto bhikshurna chaham nijabodha rupa." I am not a manushya, I am not a man, human being, I am not a human being. Are you not a human being? I am not human, I am mere being, he says. I am the satta, nijabodha rupa. Naham manushya, I am not some divine being. I am not yaksha, gandharva or anything. And I don't belong to any class or caste here, brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya or shudra. And I do not belong to any ashrama also. Neither do I belong to brahmacharya ashrama, nor do I belong to grihastha ashrama. And I do not belong to vanaprastha or not even sannyasa ashrama. Then what are you? All these ashramas are names given to the body. I am not the body. Nijabodha rupaha. I am that pure awareness. Nitya shuddha buddha mukta swarupa Atma. Bhagavan beautifully translated this to Tamil. Naranalan suran iyakkan nānalan antanan matru arasanum vanigan sudran allanal brahmachari girahiyum vanaprasthan kedagal sanniyasi Niravinil yarumallen nijabodha vadivaname. I am that nijabodha vadivaname. I am that nijabodha swarupa, shuddha chaitanya, pure consciousness. That Hastamalaga declared that, and he is Atyashrami, who has gone beyond all the ashramas. Nothing can bind him anymore. Nothing can bind him. That kind of absolute freedom, yōvudal yāvumeṇa, you can renounce only by knowledge. True renunciation is possible only by knowledge, not by outwardly giving up. What will you give up? You can give up outer things, but not the body. And even if you do research in this matter, you can see even great saints, for some time they live without anything outside. At last, sometimes ashram grew around them. And every comforts will come. Because this is destiny. In Bhagavan's case also you can see, he lived in Tiruvannamalai, begging everything. He never asked for anything. But slowly things were forming around him. Whoever comes there, Prarabdha also comes there. And the Ramana ashram happened. And people in the town, they used to come and say, and Sami Kettupetar. They used to say, Swami, before he was living in the hill without anything, now ashram is there. And all kind of stories were there because the temple of mother was built, Matrubudeshwara. So the Tiruvannamalai was a very poor place. And the villages were totally illiterate. And they had their own stories. So they used to speak about how this ashram is getting money. And Annamalai Swami says, later days Bhagavan had lot of stiffness because he is sitting always before public. So in Padala Lingam incident itself, his one leg became very powerless, very weak. So every day he will go up the hill and a place where nobody can see him, he will do some exercise. Like as we do in Surya Namaskara, taking the hand back and bringing it down and touching the feet. Like that he will do again and again. And this Rangaswami Gaundar will be there with him, and Annamalai Swami was there. Then some shepherds, villagers, they were talking. Annamalai Swami says, see, and the Swami enna pandrar theriyuma, kallai eduthu kanagama maatrar. He is doing some alchemy. He is doing. He is again and again bending. You know what he is doing? He is taking stone and making it gold, and Bhagavan will turn his hand this side, see, giving to that person, and he is storing that gold and taking it. See, it will look very innocence of the villagers, but it is actually a scheming brain, very dirty brain. But that is how they were thinking, that he is taking stone and changing it as gold, and with that gold only they are building the temple. So this is how the story was happening there. So all these things will be there. So the ashram grew around, everything will be happening, and Bhagavan told about this to G.V. Subramaya. And G.V. Subramaya had lot of problem. His wife died and children died, and great calamity was there in his family. See, everyone, when they live their life, things will be happening, something or the other. And regarding that, we will say, why should happen like this? Why should it should be changed? That law only Bhagavan said, whatever is destined to happen will happen. You cannot change it even an inch, a little bit. The way it has happened, that was the way it was destined to happen. No other way, no question at all. That was the way it was destined to happen. So things will be happening around. So G.V. Subramaya, when all these things happened, he was weeping. Bhagavan said, Subramaya, why don't you be like me? He asked, Bhagavan, how can I be like you? I am an ordinary person. Bhagavan said, I am also an ordinary person. So much problems I had to face in the hill also. Because people were all jealous. Because when somebody comes to see me, all the other sadhus, they will be jealous. They think that I am doing something to attract people. So they will create trouble to me. And at last I wanted to leave Tiruvannamalai. See, Bhagavan has tried that. He tried to leave Tiruvannamalai. Again, some force brought him back. And Bhagavan said, I wanted to renounce the Skandashrama. I didn't want that. But see, the result is Ramanashram. A very big ashram grew around. And the Mahavakyam there is, Bhagavan says, so never try to escape from prarabdha. Whatever is happening around, never try to fight with it. Just say yes to it. This is life. So when you know how to say yes to it, you will be free. Because it is not happening to you. It is a film that is happening around. Why do you identify with it? Superimpose it on yourself. You are the self. Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swarupa Chaitanya. Identify with the Chaitanyam, not with the body, with the mind, or with the happenings around. Let these things happen like a movie. Nothing can touch the screen. Nothing can make a mark on the screen. So this is what Bhagavan said about yōvudal. Bhagavan's brother Chinnaswami, he took sannyas as Niranjana Ananda. I don't know what the incident was which compelled him to take outer sannyas. But they didn't belong to any Dashanami Sampradaya or anything. He took sannyas. His wife died when he came here. He took sannyas but Bhagavan always used to call him as Pichai. That is how they used to address him in his house, so you called him Pichai. The only sannyasi which Bhagavan accepted, outward sannyas, generally Muruganar, Vishwanatha Swami, they were all sannyasis. Actually, Bhagavan made them sannyasis, made them take bhiksha. True sannyasa, yōvudal, which Bhagavan said here, it happened to them. True renunciation happened to them. Outward sannyasa, Bhagavan accepted when it happened. The traditional thing, everywhere he accepted. But Kunjaswami, when it happened to him when he came in Rishikesh, Bhagavan said, "Unakku nanna irukku." Said, "It very well suits you." So, it all depends upon who the person is. The outward things are all according to their destiny. But whether the outward sannyasa is there or not, spirituality should be there. So, the yōvudal means spirituality. The essence of renunciation. The element of renunciation must be there everywhere. So people always, sometimes, grihasthas are afraid about sannyasa. So recently some talk happened. Generally we say it's all not needed. Outwardly it is not needed. But is sannyasa great, or why don't be a grihastha? Then I asked one grihastha, I so told him, see, if a grihastha lives like sannyasi, not outwardly, but desireless, not wanting anything, how will it look? See, it looks beautiful. Okay, that is good. If a sannyasi lives like grihastha, how will you feel? That is very bad. Then what is the ideal? Then which is the ideal? Naturally, sannyasa is the ideal. In nature, other than human being, every creature is a sannyasi. That is Bhagavan's opinion. They don't store anything. They don't unnecessarily psychologically keep things inside. They die very gracefully. They surrender to death also, everything. They surrender to old age, everything. So that is the real spirit of sannyasa, renunciation. So that I will read that poem which we read yesterday, and we will go to the next verse, which is a continuation of this. Renunciation, the very sound is music to the soul. See, this is like a mantra. When this mantra is not appealing to a person, he is not spiritually oriented. Renunciation is the very sound is the music to the soul. It alone is the herb that heals all the hurts caused by desire. It alone is the mantra that drives out the vampire, ghost, ego. The robe and bowl of the awakened one is the insignia of freedom. The heart purged of all desires emits the perfume of great peace. The fragrance of renunciation attracts divine beings to that center. All the devas pass through that person to touch the inner presence. Such was the sage par excellence, Bhagavan Ramana, who walked the earth emitting the fragrance of Atmanubhuti. The master who gave up all for the good of all and took the begging bowl of compassion. An emperor amongst you monks, the great knower of Brahman. So, Arunagirinathar, one beautiful song yesterday we were discussing. For Tamil knowing people, it will be very interesting. This song is about true spiritual life. And in this Tamil song, Arunagirinathar is using, I yesterday humorously remarked, it is Iyer Tamil, not that other Tamil, usual Tamil. He says, Tadungol manattai. Tadungol manattai, vidungol veheliye. Dāṇam என்றும் இடுங்கோள். இருந்தபடிக்கு இருங்கோள். அருள் வந்து தானே உமக்கு வெளிப்படுமே. is the Tamil. Tadungol manathai, control the mind. Vidungol vehiliye, give up ignorance. Dhanam yendrum idungol, give up, give, in bounty give, whatever you can. And inwardly, irundabadiki irungol. This is abide as you are, be as you are. Arul vandu thāne umakku velippadume. Grace will manifest by itself. It will shine forth by itself. So this is the song of Arunagirinathar. So, now verse 27. This is the heart of Ulladu Narpadu. One of the most important verse of Ulladu Narpadu. The first is like a crown. This is like a jewel in the necklace. This song. Mudal pon mevum inda nān udiyādu ulla nilai, nām aduvāy ulla nilai. நான் உதிக்கும் தாணம்-adai நாடாமல் நானுதியா தன்னிழப்பை சார்வதெவன் சாராமல் தானதுவாம் அந்நிலையில் நிற்பதெவன் சாற்றுதி. முதல் போல் மேவும் இந்த, this ego which looks real, which appears as something real, this ego I, the state where this ego I does not arise, nān udiyādu ulla nilai, in deep sleep it does not arise, and in samadhi also it does not arise. When you inquire where from this I thought arises, when it is traced back to the source, to the heart, it abides, it merges there. And that few moments when it does not arise, what is there? When the I thought is not there, what is there? When I seek within me, there is no I, what is there? Nām aduvāy ulla nilai. We are that. The state where we are that. Where all the thoughts depend upon the I thought. Without the I thought, no other thought is possible. You, he, this, that, nothing is possible. I thought is the source of mind. So when the I thought subsides, everything else subsides. When you dream, mind is there, body is not there. And in deep sleep, the mind slowly closes itself. And the I thought also vanishes, you sleep. In inquiry, in meditation, also this is the door. This is the path. You take the same path but do not sleep. Keep yourself awake, alert. Do not sleep. Just to trace the I thought to the source from where it arises, to the same source it returns, and you are absolutely vigilant, alert. And that state where no thought is there, not a single thought movement is there, where the I thought is not operating. What is there? That is that maunam, that silence, that stillness, that pure consciousness devoid of the I. Taṉ-ṉ-iṛappai. Here Bhagavan uses the word taṉ-ṉ-iṛappai. The state where the I disappears, vanishes. Where I am the Atma, I am that Shuddha Chaitanya. This state you achieve only by nāḍāmal sārvadevan. Without doing self-enquiry, you cannot attain it. People think they should get self-realization as a gift. Many people used to come to Bhagavan and say, I have come all the way from America and I want your grace, I will attain realization, go back in a week. They think because the stories also sometimes take you away from truth. When we say stories like Bhagavan looked at him and he attained realization, it is not always true. It is, in fact, it is only a glimpse that can be given. Bhagavan says it is not even glimpse. The self is always shining forth. The avarana, the mind is creating a veil. For the time being, the veil stands apart and you see the truth. Now you have to cut it, remove it. And you have to put effort. See, your very effort is realization. It is not the kind of effort that you put outwardly, but the effort of withdrawal, effort of abiding, staying in that no-I land is your effort. And that very effort, that very austerity is realization. How much you can stay in that state tells upon your spiritual power. The amount of, the duration that you can stay in that no-I state, no ego state, is the tapas. So, taṉ-ṉ-iṛappai Sharvadevan Sharamal, without attaining that state of no ego, thāṉ-ண-aduvāmam nirpadevan, who will gain that state where he is that? Aham Brahma. I am that Brahman. I am Brahmasmi. How will a person stay in that state? Short. Tell me. Declare this. This is the essence of Ulladu Narpadu, the essence of Vedanta. Vastu ahankara riktada. The state where the ego is not, that is the supreme state. So, this is one of the most important verses in the text, where the Shruti says prajñānam Brahma. Brahman is pure consciousness, self-effulgent, swayam prakashak vastu. And how to realize that Brahman? That Brahman shines forth within me as I, aham brahmasmi. I am that Brahman. And when I realize it and I look at you, if I recognize you, the I will naturally come. So I don't recognize you. You are not a person for me. You are also that same. What am I? What I am, that same principle is you, tattvamasi. Then at last, I am Atma Brahma. The Atma, the self is Brahman. All that is seen is nothing but Brahman. And inwardly in the samadhi prajñānam Brahma, only that prajñānam, that pure existence is there. And when you wake up, sarvam khalu idam Brahma. Whatever is beheld is nothing but Brahman. So these are the four dicta, Mahavakyas. So to realize that, one has to inquire ahamayam kuto bhavati chinvataha, because this I alone is experienced. Nobody experiences Brahman. Nobody experiences God. Experience is always within me as I am, as I. Even in a dark room, I sit there, I am experiencing existence as I. Aham. No other thing I can experience. Even body I cannot experience. Other things I cannot experience. Experience, anubhava, is the nature of Brahman. Anubhava is the nature of Atma, Shuddha Chaitanya. So both are same only. Even if you have to experience a God, you have to experience God in this I. Otherwise, God will become unreal. Anatma vastu. The world also is experienced in this I am. Without this I, who will recognize the world? Without this I, who will recognize Vaikuntha or Kailasa or Brahmaloka, anything? Everything is being illumined by the light of the self. Satyasya satyam. Jyotisham api tad jyotihi. Even sun is illumined by the light of the self. Moon is illumined by the light of the self. Fire is illumined by the light of the self. If a God appears, that also should be illumined by I. So know the I, then you see that the real God is there in you as your own essence of the I. So without knowing the I, you cannot know God or anything. So you turn within and inquire, what is this I? Then you find Paramapurna Sat. Without allowing the I thought to emerge, subsuming it at its source is variously known as Antarmukham, Pratyakstiti and Atmanishtha. If one seeks the source of the I thought and arrives at the heart, even once, he will have a glimpse of the whole. Even then, in order to overcome this beginningless habit of acting as an individual, one must consciously and continuously observe and investigate the I thought. See, people like Murugan or many people, they attained it in Bhagavan's presence, but they recognize that they attained it in Bhagavan's presence only after some tapas. That is the fact. Swami Brahmananda said he was doing tapas in Kashi. So somebody said, you are a Manasa Putra, direct disciple of Ramakrishna. And Ramakrishna said, you are all born Nitya Siddha. It's all given to you. Why do you do so much tapas? He said, Ramakrishna has given us everything, but we have to recognize it. This is the case with everyone. The Atma is given to you, it is shining forth. But for the mind to recognize, the Gita puts it this way. Tad buddhayaha, tad atmanaha, tannishtaha, tatparayanaha, gachanti apunaravartyam. Punaravarti is samsara, again the mind acting, getting into trouble. That is punaravarti. So apunaravarti means no more trouble, no more coming back to this turbulence. And how does it happen? By putting the mind there, by putting the buddhi there, by putting the senses there, by putting the I there. This is samadhi abhyasa. This is manana, nididhyasana, holding everything, completely abiding in that state. So this is, otherwise the habit of the mind is to identify with anattma vasana jalaihi tirobhuta atma vasana. Atma vasana is being clouded by anatma vasana, by the desire to eat, desire to drink, desire to sleep, desire to enjoy, desire to fight, acquire. All these things are all anatma vasana jalai. Nityatma nishtaya tesham nashe bhati swayam sputa. Again and again abiding in the self by inquiring, who am I? And going to that source, this Swayam Prakasha Vastu shines forth. And in Viveka Chudamani, there is a very beautiful shloka. It's a very clear, revealing shloka, where Shankaracharya says, a person can have a glimpse of that state where the I thought is not. You can have it by having a spasmodic samadhi experience for a few moments, or by contemplating deeply on the state of deep sleep. You can recognize that state. But still, this habit of egoing will happen. Again and again, I come back as the same individual with the same problem. All things I know, but the individual comes back and again asserts his ignorance. Jnāte vastuni api. Although the vastu is known, balavati vasana, the old habit is very strong. Anādiresha, the beginningless habit of ignorance, karta bhokta pi ahamiti dridha yasya samsara hetuhu. Again and again it comes back and declares that I am the doer, I am the enjoyer. Samsara hetuhu, it is the cause for continuation of samsara. How to unwind yourself? Pratyak drishtya atmani nivasata. Again and again you have to have the inward look. That is pratyak drishti. You should have the inward look and should make the mind abide in the atma, the state where the I thought is not. By again and again abiding in that samadhi, getting habituated with this mauna sthiti, getting habituated with that inner space where there is no cloud, no darkness, no dust, no smoke. Smokeless, dustless, cloudless, darknessless, effulgent space, which Sureshwaracharya puts it so, dhuli andhakara dhumabra nirmukta gaganopamam. Again and again withdrawing the mind to that spot and getting habituated with that state, you have to win over this self-destructive habit of becoming the jiva. Whatever you may listen in Vedanta, the moment you go out, it is all gone. The real listener is, he listens once and his jiva bhava is gone. His ajnana is gone, he goes back as akasha. For him, he is akasha, his guru is akasha, his jnanam is akasha. Jnanena akasha kalpena dharman yoga ganopaman nyeya abhinnena sambuddha tam vande dvipadam varam. He is the adorable one who walks in 2 feet, says Gaudapada. He also is walking in his 2 feet, like anyone else, as an ordinary human being. But he is nothing but pure infinity. His jnanam is infinity. And wherever he looks, it is infinite. So this is the state of a Jivan Mukta. And in between that one Samadhi Sthiti and absolute abidance. Vidyaranya Swami says, Tattvajnana and Jivan Mukti. Tattvajnana is a person when takes a dip into that state, very clearly knows what it is. He can teach. In fact, only a person who had a glimpse of it can teach. He is a Brahmavid. But he slowly matures into Brahmavidvara, Brahmavidvariya and Brahmavidvarishta. These 4 states the Vedanta Shastra says: Brahmavid, Brahmavidvara, Brahmavidvariya, Brahmavidvarishta. So, in that graduation is not in the knowledge. Knowledge is same. The jnana which appears once is same. Till the last it is the same. But the obstacle is slowly removed. The pradibandha is removed. And more and more and more. It's just like you hold a cloth and cover the sky, the space. Nothing is seen. Put a small hole and you ask, where is the space? Inside that hole. Like that we say, the infinity is inside here in the heart. Because only there is a hole through which you can see it. Make the hole bigger, 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 and the cloth itself is gone. Only space is there. You have a little circumference and full a big hole. That is what we see in Bhagavan, that Jivan Mukta Sthiti, Brahmanishta. So that is Bhagavan here says, so this is, we will continue tomorrow, the 28th verse. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachalam, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachalam. Yato mamatma bhavasi tvameva tato na vachyam mama kinchidasti. Yathataveshtam kurumam tatheva tvam atmanātham ramanam bhajami.